And so grew up super poor. I was thrown out of my house when I was 16. And luckily, there was a lady up in Defiance. Her name was Debbie, and she took in a lot of us. Believe it or not, there's a whole community of us, kind of like homeless kids up in that
Yeah.
area. And
Wow.
so I really kind of grew up in a Hispanic neighborhood, Hispanic household,
Okay.
and always use cannabis. I think in essence, when you're a 16-year-old without a home or a job, it's
Hmm.
the one thing that you could do back in those days and
Right.
maintain a living and stay alive. But
Hmm.
as I grew up, I went into technology. I've always been a cannabis user. My adult son, he has Crohn's, and
Okay.
it has done wonders for him. So when issue two passed, I was like, okay, I started growing. I can give him product. I can give everything else. And then that was one of the first things they tried to take
Hmm.
was the ability, and they took away the ability to gift still, but
For sure.
for the most part. But yeah, you're telling me as a father, I can't deliver something to my son for medicine?
Right.
Like, no, I'm not accepting that.
Hmm.
Um, and so that's kind of what got me into it. And going up to the state house as a father to advocate of, this is bullshit. Why are you guys doing this? And then that's when I started to see why they were doing it. And a couple figures about Ohio. So we're number one in infrastructure, right, in the country. Number two for cost of doing business, and number five for overall business climate, right? So we are a
Hmm.
business friendly state. We are, let's see, number 38 in social equity, 41 in women's overall equity, and 35 in K through 12 education. Because our politicians are corporate servants and not public servants, and that's the problem that we have here in Ohio. We all
Hmm.
work, and they they do everything for business. And you brought up the
Right.
tech sector. Funny enough, a large portion of the tech sector does not pay state taxes.
Mm. Why
So
is that?
okay, so Ohio has no corporate tax rate. Most people don't realize that. We don't. We
Okay.
use something that's called a CAT tax, which is a commercial activity tax.
Hmm.
And so that's one of the things we need to remove. And how that works is every receipt for a product sold in Ohio, it goes
Hmm.
into your gross receipts. And they calculate tax based on those gross receipts and not revenue.
Okay.